Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to some more All the Mods 10. In this episode, I've had a few ideas. I've been in sort of mixed mind about what to do next because there's so much we can do. I've upped the scale of these monstrosity, horrible-looking buildings. I've tried to be a little bit haphazard because I don't want these to be smooth towers. I kind of want them to be a little bit, with some funny edges and some bits sticking out and a little bit cobbled together. So for those that are new, I am trying to do a mini version of Saudi Arabia's The Line project in Minecraft. And I feel I've got plenty of mods in this mod pack, 400 odd mods to help me with that. When it comes to making it easier, filling it with interesting stuff, etc. But I'm going to do it my own spin. I'm going to do my own spin on it. And that's kind of really what the next few episodes in this series are going to be about. But this episode, I think what we'll look at is a little bit of resource generation. So raw materials. We have a floor. The second floor is dedicated to the generation of raw materials. And there's various ways we can do that. I'm having a little play around at the moment with various different mods. So you'll be aware, most likely, that I've been quite a fan of mystical agriculture. So I've got myself a little ice setup, which produces ice essence. And that then gets auto-crafted by this ME requester. It will ensure there's always 64 blocks of packed ice in the system. It will then export it to here. Can you hear that noise? It is this electricity generator. Or it might be the fridge. Anyway, Mr. Crayfish is a mod. It offers something that not many mods do. And that is the ability to create blue ice. And all you need to do is get one block of packed ice. I mean, you can auto-craft this, of course. It is very slow. But what you do get is a 1-for-1 relationship. So you get 64 packed ice, you'll get 64 blue ice. It just does it one at a time, and it's incredibly slowly. And why do I need blue ice? Well, I need it for dry ice, which is the best coolant, I believe, you can get for power reactors, which are my main form of power in this game. I've got 2 freezers running concurrently at the moment just to speed up the rates tiny bit, and I'm using modular routers just to move things around. They get popped back in the AE2 network after the blue ice has been zapped by an energizing rod, which then turns it into dry ice. Pretty cool. Over here we have just some basic resource generation blocks. We're using functional storage mostly. There's cobble gen galore is creating my cobble gen. I think is it maxed out? It can't be. No, we have a lot of cobble, as you can see from these compressed blocks. So we've got 500,000 cobblestone in that first column and that first square there. So we will never be short of cobblestone. Nice and easy. I think I showed this in the last episode, actually, back in my other place. I've also noticed that functional storage, you can add. In fact, where do I click? I've got to click the right place here. You can add water generator upgrades, which mean, you add it to a fluid drawer, it's no mystery. It will generate water. And then we can actually push that up into just a tank. This is just a basic mechanism fluid tank, which are my favourite forms of tanks, because you can just pick these up and use them as buckets if you put it in bucket mode, which is pretty cool. Same here with a dripping upgrade, which produces lava. I've got a big storage upgrade on there, and again a pusher upgrade, which pushes it up into here. This is just a normal functional storage item drawer with, you guessed it, obsidian upgrade in there. So yeah, it's really quite straightforward generation. And of course we've got our iron farm over here, which is 7 different little mini easy villager iron farms and a modular router which sends them all into there. Bit of an overview of the floors, I think. I didn't do that properly last time. We've got lots of floors above that are a little bit of a mob farm at the moment. They're very dark and mysterious. There's nothing to see up there. But we do have an elevator block, which I've added to make things a little easier. So yeah, we're back down the raw materials floor, floor 2. Floor 1 is the workshop. This is the floor where I would like to build the various machines that do crafting, that will use the raw materials from the floor above. So we can, for example, the Infusion Alter from Mystical Agriculture that you use to create all these various different seeds. I'd like to automate, and I'd like to do that in here, and I may well try and do that in this episode. Let's see how times go. Entrance level, which is floor 0, the ground floor. Put myself a little map on the wall just to show the progress. The idea is it will go all the way along here, and then, yeah, probably another few more blocks that way, and then we will be at the end. I think the other end of the line. Floor down, the infrastructure level. Showed you this last time. Changed it a little bit. I moved the power generator, the power reactor out of the way, just so these could all be underneath each other. Starting to look at the infrastructure and the cabling from an AE2 point of view, and most of the dense cabling I will probably just run through the middle of this floor and perhaps add some sort of catwalks to get over it and walk across it, etc. So from -1 to -2, this I definitely didn't show you last time. Look at my face, bats. This will be how you get around, how you go up and down the line. You know, there will be probably, I might well dig out the middle between the two buildings as well. I think we're far enough underground for that to not disrupt the surface. And this is really where you will go back and forward. And there is a Railcraft mod, which is basically minecarts turbocharged and with a lot more fun to be had there, I think, as an alternative to the Create rail, which I normally use in the last few series, because Create has not made it to 121 yet, unfortunately, although I hear it's close. So that's something to look forward to. But for now, in a non-Create world, the idea is I'll probably dig some tunnels out using a Railcraft minecart contraption that has a tunnel bore attached to it, which I'm quite excited to start doing in an episode soon. So yes, let's go back up to raw materials level. And what I want to do is just try something out, and that is, there is a mod called Zcraft. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. And this mod has this machine, the Extractor, which allows you to create some items, mainly raw materials. So nothing advanced, you know, you can't create diamonds or anything from it, but it's a bit like a hopper, a botany hopper, but with, I think it's a little bit more, you know, it looks a bit better for me because it's not just the same thing and you've got to surround it by various blocks. But other than pointed dripstone, I have everything I need to create. So let's just check out if I have any dripstone. Okay, I don't have any pointed dripstone. Let's go get some, shall we? In fact, no need. We can use it with Mystical Agriculture Essence, Water and Stone. Okay, well that's great, because that now means we can craft ourselves the Extractor. Where is it? Right, 3 extractors will do for now, and these things are really quite straightforward. So let me try, first of all, I mean, let's just use something simple. So I believe if we were to put some dirt and an extractor and some kind of inventory, which will probably just use functional storage shelves for now, drawers even. So this should, if we were to put water above the mud, let's try also doing that. Trap doors, I am not sure of these things, and not short of, oh, do I have any water buckets? I don't. Not to worry. We're surrounded by water, and we also are able to go... Whoop. I thought it wasn't working, but it is. I've actually now got 6 buckets. So if we just jump around randomly, if we were to add some trapdoors here... Oh dear, I don't know what I'm doing here. Can it control it? Right, we don't need to top that. Pop some water there. As you can see, no magic. We have lights. The extractor is pulling the water through the mud, through the dirt, and creating mud. Actually, quite quickly. That's not bad at all, is it? So, you know, that is a simple mud farm. It's possibly as simple as you can get. And there are so many more different resources that I would like to set up along here. Just a little bit of a tip for those who are unsure of how to do this, because there's so many different options. If we go to mud, you can go on the top to Zcraft Machines Extractor. You get a little diagram here, and this is drawn in the same way that that is. So you've got the, I guess the key block is in the middle, the white block. So for this, it's just any variation of dirt or farmland works. And some water, or some variety of different water types, sugar water, whatever that is, Masuki, Tuki. And yeah, the up and down arrow can get a bit confusing. I wouldn't pay much attention to that in terms of what direction, because some of these machines will go or pull it down from above, and some will pull it up from below. So it can potentially get a little confusing. The main thing to look for is the green boxes here. So with your central block, which is dirt in this case, you actually can do this in any direction. If it was only at the bottom, then you know that it can only pull it up from below. If it's only green at the top, then it can only pull it down from below. So we could have it on the side if we wanted to, I think. Either way, that's a nice simple setup. It's vertical, it's modular, and I plan to build a lot more. So I'm going to build a few more, and then I'll come back to you and show you. And here we go. These are the first batch of extractor materials. There's a few that are not quite ready. We've got a basic resin, bio resin, which I don't know what that's for, if I'm honest with you. But, you know, a log of some sort, bit of wood or a log of some sort, and the appropriate leaves, and we get that. Yeah, well, I guess that could be useful in the future. We shall see. We've got skystone dust, and all that needs is some lava on top of a skystone with a waterlogged extract. A couple of end-related blocks, end-related items. So we've got end stone, and we've got chorus, and then we've got some really quite cool ones. This one in particular, Dragon's Breath. I hate collecting normally. And by simply extracting endless amounts from the dragon's head, we've got ourselves some pretty good potential for some potioning in the future. The egg itself is actually useful, only to produce more eggs, but I think there's a lot more you can do with dragon eggs in this pack. I need a skulk catalyst to produce skulk, so that's why this thing isn't animated at the moment. It just needs to go on top of there, and then we'll have skulk for, I don't know, decorative purposes, potentially. We can even produce ice from ice and a waterlogged extractor. We've got amethyst. This needs to be, both of these blocks here, basically the Certus quartz and the amethyst, needs to be budding, flawless budding blocks. So I need to go and get them at some point. I think probably the easiest way would be using Mechanism's cardboard box, bringing that back here. And then Certus quartz and amethyst crystals, you know, we'll have a good renewable supply of them. Really simple. We've got mud, as I showed you earlier, and then we've got, actually we can produce pointed dripstone from putting water through a solid dripstone block. And I showed you that earlier. So these are the simple ones, the relatively simple ones. There are some that are a little bit more complex. So I'm going to come back to those before the next episode, because I'm going to be I think I've decided I'm going to focus this episode now, the rest of this episode, on automating the Infusion Alter for mystical agriculture. And this is in a bid to get more seeds. And we're not going to need as many seeds as I thought now, because all of this is taking away the need to grow these items in crops, which, as you can see, you know, pretty cool, but it takes up a lot more space. And there's probably some sort of ticking lag impact of that as well. Whereas, well, we'll see. We'll see what this is like, whether how laggy these devices are. But what they do is they seem to lock when the storage is full. So clearly I can upgrade the storage if I want. But what I'm hoping that means is that once it's full, the lag is effectively it's on standby. So there'll be some sort of checking to see if that storage is empty. But it might reduce the impact. That's kind of what I'm potentially quite naively hoping. But we shall see. What I actually plan to do, I think I might actually just stick storage buses on the back of these and then connect them up to AE2 so we can actually see the stock for all of these items, and it doesn't actually use any AE2 space. The only downside is there's no room behind because there's the wall behind there, so maybe I'm going to need to move these out a block, which would be really quite annoying. Okay, never mind, that's for another day. Let's go downstairs to the workshop, and we're going to start building our Infusion Alter. Not just any Infusion Alter, an automated Infusion Alter. So if you don't know what this is, then go and check out my earlier episodes where there was an episode where I started with mystical agriculture. This basically allows you to infuse base seeds that you can craft with properties and essence, and allow you to create resource growing seeds. So you can grow things like coal, you can grow all sorts of things. There are probably hundreds of different things you can grow from crops, and they will then produce essence, and you can then craft them to make the items that you need. So I've popped the altar down. I've done this one above the ground. That will become clear later. Basically, we need some infrastructure underneath, hidden out the way. Put it on a redstone block. This basically activates the altar, so you don't have to do that manually. As soon as it has all of its ingredients that it needs placed on these pedestals, it will automatically activate because of this block underneath. So I think next job is I need a bit of AE2 connectivity. So we are going to get ourselves cable. I have run up a cable from, so we've got 8 channels, which is not going to be enough, so we're going to need to run up another one. I've just realized, of course, you're going to need at least 9 channels for this, so I'll have to do that. But what I will probably actually no I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it on a subnet. For those that aren't aware, a subnet is basically a network within a network, and it allows us to reduce the amount of channels we use on our main ME network. So this should be absolutely fine. I'll just pop an ME interface there and we should be good to go. So we have our cables. So we are going to need, first of all, to place at the moment I'm using a smart cable. It can be any AE2 cable. Smart cable I just like because it shows me the amount of channels that are being used. So these are directly underneath where the pedestals will go. So the next job is we need some storage buses. Do we have 74 of them? So yeah, we're good to go. So we will then pop them on top of these cables, and what this will mean is that effectively all of these items, including this, oh, I've just popped that on there, I don't want that, including this, the altar itself in the middle, are actually considered storage inventories, just like chests or barrels. So they are viable to drop an item from an AE2 point of view. So we now have all of this here. We are going to connect these up. Unfortunately, because the redstone block's underneath the altar, we can't connect it from underneath. I like connecting it from underneath because it's just nice and tidy. So we need to connect this up. So we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels, which hopefully will be enough. I need a controller. I think I already had AE2 open there. Do I have a controller anywhere? Please. There we go. So because we have multiple different, we have more than 8 channels that we're going to use, and each of these storage buses uses a channel each. We are going to need a controller to allow us, each face of that controller will actually allow us to use 32 channels each, but we don't need that much. We just need enough to hook up all of these bits here. Right, so this is, I'm pretty happy with this at the moment. We don't have power for this yet, but that is a pretty easy thing to do. I'm going to need cable anchors, I'm pretty sure of that. And also some, hopefully there's some quartz fiber in there. Yeah, we've got 4 quartz fibers. So the idea really is, at the moment, this is going to connect up, and because this is a different controller to the one downstairs, I'm confused. Mr. Amy has awoken nearby. I need to go check out these bosses at some point, see if there's any good loot from them. Oh, that was the wrong block. And grab my wrench, which is a great way. I highly recommend using a wrench rather than just your pickaxe to demolish things in AE2. So this quartz fiber basically will provide power to this subnet, but not data. So from a data point of view, the inventory, when we do have one in here, will not be able to see what's in there, and vice versa. But that's why we're going to use an ME interface. Again, something I'm hoping I have. I just need the one. I also need that to be in block form. And I've still got some storage buses. So ME interface is going to go up here. It's going to have a storage bus under there, which basically means that we have 2 different networks. We have a subnet here. The controller is actually working. It's powered. But equally, we are able to, by connecting that there, they can actually talk to each other. So I'm not going to use this video to try and explain what a subnet is, because I'm nowhere near an expert and there are much better videos out there. But basically, this just reduces the amount of channels. As you can see, 1 channel in use there. And we've got 4 here and 5 here. So the main AE2 ME network is less of a strain on that from a channel point of view. I mean, this will all make sense, I believe, once we get some test seeds being created. Next thing is pop your pedestals, the 8 of them, down on top of the storage buses, where the holograms are. You then need to adjust the priorities. So, I mean, what I tend to do is start with 1. I go round the loop, up them by 1 each time until you've done all 8. And all this does is dictate the order in which AE2 places the items, because effectively AE2 is going to get an order for some seeds, and it will send it up this way, because it will be looking for these blocks, and it will place them in the order that we've just done it. So I think it was from there around here. The good thing about this way of this crafting, this mystical agriculture crafting, is there's no actual correct way of doing things in terms of the pedestals. You can put generally there's 2 sets of 4 items you need to place, but you can put them anywhere. There doesn't need to be any set pattern. The seeds do need to go in the middle, however. So we are going to make sure that this storage bus is a much higher priority, What that will do is place the seeds first, and then the items that the seeds needs after that in the order we've dictated, going probably down from 8 down to 1. So you should see them going around in a circle. Next up on the to-do list is a pattern controller. So this is a... I've actually put this on the wrong way, so I need to correct this, and I do apologize. But we need to put the storage bus here. Okay, so we're going to pop a pattern provider in here. What this does is it effectively understands the pattern of the way that the ingredients are needed and the requirements for the seeds that you order. And bear in mind, this can be done from your main EMI network. You can actually place seeds in to order there. I'm going to need to get some more pink cable, and I don't need the dense stuff, the smart stuff. And we shall pop that. We would do if that light wasn't in the way. There. And I don't think it matters that that's connected, but just for simplicity, we shall do this. What that pattern storage provider does is it requests the ingredients from the main storage, which will be in the disk drives, which are downstairs in the infrastructure level. So we're going to pop a barrel here. This barrel is where the ingredients that this has requested, or the items that this has requested, when you put the order in, and it is literally a matter of, let's say, do I have any seeds that are craftable? No, I don't. That's a bad example. So anything that's craftable here from the auto crafting, wherever you are in the world, you could actually set it to craft. And this will then ask the ingredients from the main EMI network, pop those ingredients in the barrel. The barrel will then export those ingredients. So that's the next thing I need. Still unstored and craftable. Okay, where is my export? There we go. Export buses. And while I'm in here, I'm going to grab some import buses as well. Just so you're aware, export is an import. The difference is it's hard. It can be hard to get your head around what direction is what. Import and export. Think of it from the AE2 network perspective. So an export for... I've actually got this the wrong way around. Yeah, see, I told you it was tricky. What you need here is an import. You need it to go the items that the pattern provider has provided to the barrel to then be sucked out of the barrel. So that is imported into the AE2 network, or in this case, the purple Fluix subnet that I've created. So I'm going to create a few using pattern providers, and I'm going to assume that you're familiar with what these... In fact, I might already have some crafting patterns. Here we go. I've already got them created. So let's just narrow this down a little bit. So stone seeds needs prosperity seeds, which is that, and redstone seeds. So we've got a few different here. What I'm going to do is you can use your wireless patterns or your wireless interface to go to add them, but as you can see here, it's already added them. You can just right click on the pattern provider and do it directly. There's multiple options in how you want to do it. So now the next thing that we need to, in fact, we shouldn't need any sort of processing. We have storage, and yeah, this should, you know, he says very nervously. The only thing that at the moment won't happen is we've got nothing to suck the finished seeds out and pop them back in the network, but we'll come to that in a minute. What I want to do is put myself a viewing platform so I can see. I want to try and order some seeds. So you can see these with a plus here. If I order 1, stone seed batch. It's got all the ingredients. The CPU's been assigned. We click start. The seeds have gone in the middle there. We should see 4 stone blocks and 4 green inferior essences. So far, so good. Magic happens because it's already activated by the redstone. And there we go. Stone seeds. Oh, don't you just love it when a plan comes together? Okay, so that's great. And the only thing is you can't do more than one because there's nothing that will pull this off, and it effectively locks the altar. So the next step is, after I tidy up my inventory a tiny bit, just pop this up here, is we need some sort of item pipes that basically will carry the item from there, put it back in the pattern provider, which tells the main network that the crafting or the pattern creation has been successful, and it will clear its to-do list, and then if you've got 10 that you've ordered, it'll then start on the next one. It won't start on the next one until one of these successful crafts has been sent back to this block here. So I'm going to go with what I know, and that is from Chaos Craft. I got to know mechanism quite well, and so I'm going to hopefully don't actually have any mechanism, a huge amount of mechanism going at the moment. I've got universal cable, but we need logistical cable. That's what we need. So yeah, logistical transporter. So how do I craft that? Steel and a basic control circuit. So I need really to get into some basic mechanism. I wonder whether pipes would work. That's interesting. I have never used pipes. I think it's pipes with a Z, isn't it? Universal pipe. Fluid energy item universal. Well, okay. Universal sounds good. I need to shift click that. Oh, just for now, we'll go over this. And I don't want you going in there. It's attaching itself to things. Is there a... Yes, there is a wrench. There is a wrench. Good. So hopefully I can... Yeah, okay. It's just like mechanism pipes. You just shift and right click. And yeah, nice and easy. Where's my packs all gone? Oops. Okay, these are quite easy to mine. Okay, so forget the aesthetics for now. Quite simply, this pipe here I will tidy up and we'll make it look nice once I have a bit more time to do so. So you don't need to see me do that. So yeah, I think probably the best thing to do is run this pipe up here and pop it back in there. Make sure you don't want that going in the barrel. You want it going into the pattern provide. The other thing you need to do is tell this to... Okay, it doesn't seem to tell you what is pull. I'm going to assume that is pull. And yeah, pretty ugly, these things, but they're quite cheap. So let's craft again. Except this time we are going... I'd love to know how you can actually auto craft without picking up the item. There must be a keyboard shortcut. Let's try 10. We've got everything we need. So it's actually having to craft some more prosperity seeds. So it's doing that because it has the recipe already. Right, we'll kick that off. And we shall watch it not work anymore. Why is it putting the seeds in? Right, okay. I forgot to actually tell you something that's quite important. You need to lock the crafting, and this will prevent things going in the wrong places. To do this, you just open the pattern provider, right click on it, go to this padlock, and then change it to until primary crafting result is returned. So the crafter is unlocked at the moment, but you don't want it to send everything. When you ask for 10, without it locking it, it will send 10 of the seeds first and then 10 of the next thing. We don't want that. So let's try again. And I am going to re-establish these pipes because I initially blamed the pipes for being the problem. It wasn't the pipes. It was me and my forgetfulness. So we will do that again. We'll make sure that's not... these pipes aren't going into anything else. So they're literally just hopefully pulling the seeds from there and putting them back in the pattern provider to register that the craft was successful. Let's try again. 10 seeds. It's got to do its thing. No crafting CPUs are available. That's probably because the other ones haven't been registered as finished. One moment. Let's go down the stairs and look at these. Yep. Yeah, we'll cancel those jobs. If that ever happens, it's probably because there hasn't been a successful result returned, which blocks up the processors. So again, let's try take 10 or whatever it is. 10 seeds. Start seeds. Hopefully we'll get stone, 4 stone, and then 4 Ethereum essence. 4, yep. This is looking good. So the first one, as always, seems to work quite often. It's the second one where it has to clear the seeds, which have gone. It's now doing it again. Happy days. So it should keep on doing it. Weirdly, AE2 does this thing in these sort of things when it's relying on the pipes to place the items. It speeds up, as you can see. See, it's faster. Why does AE2 do that? It's like it gets more efficient the more craft jobs you put in it. But it's working. And what is happening is if we go down to the CPU floor, we should see, yeah, the number we should see it go down. There you go, down to 5. So what that means is that the crafting the pattern provider is receiving the successful craft, the seeds, and then it will send them back into the main ME network and the main storage, and it reports back saying, yep. I mean, you can even see on the status at the top of the screen, it's waiting, it's locked, so no more ingredients will be sent out. It's waiting for stone seeds, one of the stone seeds, which will be sent back through the pipes. The reason I prefer mechanism is you can actually see the items go through, so you can see if it's working. But as you can see now, it's unlocked because it's now sending out the items it needs. Once the items start crafting, it should then lock itself any moment now. Oh no, okay, no, it's finished the job. So how cool is that? You know, we've got automated seeds. We can tidy things up, you know, by raising the platform so that it looks a bit better. We can, because it's AE2, we can use cable facades to tidy things up. Maybe some frame blocks to give it a slope, but I may not use I might use something different. So there we go. A nice easy way of creating mystical agriculture seeds. Clearly you need to be a bit of an AE2 person to do this. You can use, instead of AE2, you can just use more mechanism or pipes to transport items. And if you're happy just to have 3 barrels for the seeds in the middle, the essence and the other bits, so the stone in this case, then you can just create direct item pipes to those items, but clearly to those destinations, the pedestals, etc. But clearly there's a bit more manual in that, and I've found AE2 seems to work really well, particularly if you pop it on a subnet and you get those priorities right. So yeah, we've got ourselves now an easy way of crafting mythical agriculture seeds, which will be incredibly useful as we start to mass produce things. But for now, I think we'll probably call it there. Next episode, I might do a little bit more Zcraft and look at some of the more complex extractor recipes and configurations, and let's really get our raw materials generating for us. And then maybe after that, we're almost time. We've probably got a choice of either starting to work on this building itself, trying to sort of do something with these white walls to actually make it a bit more interesting, particularly on the outside. And the other thing we need to do is the transit system. So we'll start looking at railcraft in the next few episodes. So anyone who has some tips, because I've never touched that before, if there are any raw materials that I need to be getting, then yeah, please do let me know in the comments for this video, and I'll be very grateful. For those that aren't subscribed, why not? It's easy, it's quick. I don't ask very often, but I really want to get to 500 subs. I'm slowly getting there. I've only got, what, 40 more people? That's all I need, 40 more people for 500 subs, which will make me very happy indeed. Okay then, that's enough for me. You take care, have fun whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye. Ow, ow.